Hello and welcome to Dr. Ill. So if you want to play Dr. Ill just the way it comes pre-packaged, all you can do is go to dr-agon, which is dragon with a dash after the doctor, .com/healers/Dr. Ill. And it'll take you here. And Dr. Ill basically is a crazy mad scientist who's escaping away from the authorities by jumping through dimensions. And so what you need to do is you need to help them catch him. And the way you're going to do that is there's a bug that was planted on him that transmits messages that it records from the dimension that he's in. And so you match those messages with the different dimensions. Let's say it has recorded the message manejan. So, and there's two different dimensions that he might be in. He might be in this dimension where the speaker is talking about two different people, or he might be in this dimension where the speaker is talking about one person. So if you've interpreted the verb correctly, you know that this is the dimension that he's in. So you click on that one, then you decide how many dimensions you want for the next one. As you can see, after you get through 10 dimensions, you catch Dr. Ill, and then you return him to the authorities. So the idea here is that you're not doing translations. You're actually looking for the meaning encoded within the verb endings to tell you who the subject is of the verb. Now, Dr. Ill comes preloaded with a little over 100 verbs in Spanish, along with their images, and you can use it that way straight out of the box just by going to this website. However, it is an open resource, so if you want to customize Dr. Ill, you are welcome to do so. To do that, what you do is you use the link below in the description, and it'll take you to this shared folder where you'll see two files. You'll see the README and you'll see a zipped file. So the README will walk you step by step, just like this video, through what you need to do in order to customize Dr. Ill. So just like it indicates in the README, the first thing you need to do is download Unity. To do that, go to unity.com and download the latest free version, which is Unity Personal. So once you've downloaded that and installed it, you'll be able to use Unity on your computer. Next, you're going to download Dr. Ill. So you come back here and you'll right click and you'll download. Note that this may take a few minutes. Once you've downloaded Dr. Ill, go ahead and unzip it. So extract all. Make sure you pay attention to where you're extracting it. This may take a little while. All right, so now we have Dr. Ill. So what you're going to do is you're going to go into Unity. The first thing that's going to open is the Unity Hub. If this is your first time using Unity, there will be nothing here. So what you'll do is you go to Open, and you'll navigate to where it was saved. So in this case, it was saved in downloads and it was in Dr. Ill, and then you'll open the project. If this is your first time opening Dr. Ill, it may take several minutes for it to open as it's trying to recreate the entire library. The library was not included in the zipped file in order to make the zipped file smaller. It saved about 1.5 gigs of space in the download file. Also, one thing I forgot to mention, when you install Unity, Dr. Ill is designed to be browser-based. Please make sure that you include, you choose the checkbox to include WebGL support. All right, once it's finished importing, you should see a screen that looks something like this. So the first thing we want to do is we want to make sure we're in the right scene. So we're going to go into the scenes folders and we're going to click on the scene here. Okay, now we see that we're in the right scene. The next thing you want to do is go back into assets. Then you're going to go to resources, and you're going to open the vocab breakdown worksheet. This is an Excel file that contains all the data for the game. So as you can see right here, it has the information for the preloaded data. Here's where you can customize your content. These three columns are for your information and are not required for the game to work. They do not need to have content in them for the game to work, but you shouldn't delete them. If you delete them, it'll throw off the count for the game. Here is where you do need to have content. You need to have a first person form, a second person form, a he or she form, a we form, a you all form, and a they form. So make sure you have those forms for all the verbs. If any of these forms are missing, the game will have issues. You can also, if you need to, include extra content after. So for example, if you don't just want to say ve, which means he or she sees, but you want to see ve la tele, so they watch the television, then you can add that extra content you want after the conjugated verb here. Over here, you should put the name of the file for the picture. If you leave this empty, or if the name doesn't match exactly the name that you use for your picture name, the picture will not be included when it comes up in the game. You can include any number of items that you want here. You can take some of these, you can mix them and mash them, change them around, add more, take out, whatever you want to do. Once you have your content all ready, go ahead and highlight, starting here, all the way down to the bottom of where you want the content to be included and copy that. Then go back over to Unity and open up the source words document. You can tell that this is where I've already preloaded the content for the game. So you'll just select it all and then paste your new content. Delete the last line, you don't need that, and then save it. Note that this file is saved as Unicode, so it should accept characters from any language that has standard Unicode format. So now that you have that in there, you can go ahead and close that file. Then you'll go to the verb images file. Here's where you're going to save your actual images. Images can be in any standard image format, such as JPEG or PNG. I have them all in here as PNG files, just for simplicity. That way some of them can have transparent backgrounds. Also, I recommend that you have all the images be rather small. That way they don't crash the game. You'll notice that most of mine are 400 pixels by 200 pixels, which is relatively small. They should be this size, 2 times wider than they are tall, in order to avoid distortions in the images. You don't need to worry about deleting images that you're not using. You can if you want to, but you need to make sure that you have an image for each of the image file names that you have here if you want the images to show up. Once you've loaded all the images in here and you have the data file updated, your game should be ready to go. You can go ahead and test it by clicking play up here. Note it will take a few minutes to load the first time because it's packaging all of these images up into an atlas. Once it's finished packaging, you'll be able to play the game. So you'll say, let's go, and you should be able to see your content reflected here. So it should show your verb conjugations, randomly selected, and it should show the appropriate images and appropriate highlighted subjects at random. Okay, so it looks like our game is working. So we'll exit the play. Next, we're going to go to File, and we're going to go to Build Settings. Now notice that currently it's set up for Windows, Mac, and Linux. We don't want that. We want to switch over to WebGL. So we'll click WebGL and we'll say Switch Platform. This may take a few minutes. Remember that you had to incorporate, or you had to select to include WebGL support when you first installed Unity. After it finishes in switching the platform, notice it's going to do a script compilation down here. It's recompiling all the scripts for the new platform. So wait until that finishes before you try to do anything else. Okay, the scripts have finished compiling. Last thing we want to check is make sure that this is the only scene and it's labeled as scene 0. Now we're going to go to build. It'll pull up this. It asks you where you want it to save it. I recommend you save it in the drill build folder. So just select that folder and say select folder. It will take several minutes for it to build the game, especially the first time. All right, the build finally finished after about 7 minutes. And you'll notice it automatically opened this folder and highlighted the folder for us. So what you want to do now is you want to right click on this and you want to compress it. You want to create a compressed form. That'll just take a second. Click enter. Okay, so now our game is ready to be distributed. So I'm going to show you how to distribute it on Itch. So if you don't have an Itch account yet, you can create a free account on itch.io, and then you'll go to your dashboard. You'll create a new project. Inside your project, there's several pieces of information that you need, such as the title. You need a cover image. You need to classify it. I've classified it as a game. Right here, kind of project, make sure you choose HTML that will be played in the browser. I always leave mine as free. And then right here, you're going to upload the zipped file. So you'll click and you'll choose the zipped file. Once it's finished uploading, make sure you click right here. This file will be played in the browser. Then embed in page. And I usually set the size as 1000 by 700. That way it has a little wiggle room and doesn't cut anything off. You can provide more information, such as the description, the genre, some tags are always helpful. It won't let you choose public the first time you play it. So then you click save and you go to view page, and then it'll let you run. And everything should work. So your game should load right now. So you make sure it's working. Okay. So then you go back to edit game. After you've tested it, then it should allow you to change it to public. So change it to public, click save again, go back to view page, and then highlight this address right here, copy it, and send it to your students. And now your students can play your version of Dr. Ill. I hope this has been helpful and that you find this useful in your classes. Please feel free to share any comments, suggestions, requests. If you run into technical issues, please email me. And if you do so, please be sure to include a screenshot so that it'll be easier for me to help you troubleshoot. Have fun.